In the US, there are about 11 million millionaires. A number that the coronavirus might have affected though, but still 11 million. It might sound like a high number, but considering that 50% of American households has an income above $100,000, I think that this number should have been way higher. And why isn't it? In today's video, I'll be going through your worst enemy of getting rich. What keeps the millionaire number that low, and how are you able to become one of those 11 million? In the US, an average salary is about $50,000, which is a pretty high number in my opinion. Maybe the family mother with 6 kids and 3 cars won't agree, but $50,000 per year should be plenty for most families, especially with a combined $100,000 for a couple. Why is it then that in the last days of the month, people's money are running low? Well, the simple answer to that question is that they spent their money on the wrong things. Okay, the first point I want to go through is lifestyle inflation. One of the main reasons why people run out of money in the end of the month is caused by lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation, you might ask? Yes. Alright, think back to when you were a student. Your income was next to nothing and your expenses as well. In the US, right now, a student spends about $700 to $1,000 per month. And this includes accommodation, food, traveling, books, and fun. So how many of you guys can live off just about $800 right now? Probably not that many. And this is simply because of lifestyle inflation. As soon as people graduate from college, they get a job, start earning about $4,000 to $5,000 per month, and all of a sudden they consider what they need instead of what they can afford. So let's say you get around $4,000 after taxes. Let's just imagine you kept living as a student for some years. This would give you at least $3,000 per month to spend on whatever you want. This could make you a millionaire in the stock market in just about 14 years. But this is of course not what people choose to do. They find a car which costs them $300 a month. They probably also paid about $20,000 for this car, so now they're already in debt. Then they find a house that cost them $1,500 per month, and now they also need a more expensive insurance on their new bigger house, and then they now need a car insurance. And after this, they probably have about $1,500 left. So they now see that they can afford to eat at a restaurant 5 times a week, go to the movies every weekend, and buy a new phone every half year. So this is what they do. And they now get stuck in the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck with just enough money to cover the bills. Okay, so another dangerous point about lifestyle inflation is what happens later on in your life. And this will happen for as long as you live if you're not aware of it. What not to do in order to avoid this. Lifestyle inflation will happen for as long as you live. If you're not aware of it, you'll probably never have more money than you have right now, which is pretty concerning, I would say. You have your job with a salary of $50,000. And after 1 year, you have monthly expenses that fits perfect to these $50,000. You're now in the cycle. But then, one day, your boss calls you in for a meeting and he's giving you a 5% raise because of the work you have done for the company. Great, you're thinking. Now you have a yearly salary of $52,500. This is the second step people fail on after becoming a student. Now they should save up that extra 5%, because if they could live off $50,000 before, why shouldn't they be able to now? But this is not how most people think, unfortunately. They spend these extra 5% on a bunch of stuff which they don't really need, but it's just nice to have. And this keeps on happening for the rest of their life, and they won't really ever be able to save up money or achieve any of their big financial goals. So, what is the danger really behind lifestyle inflation? You might not think that it sounds that bad, and you would prefer a luxury lifestyle over a nice savings account, or maybe an earlier retirement. But then just consider one day you loses your 9 to 5 job, or you or one of your kids has to go to the hospital, and you all of a sudden get a huge medical bill. You're not prepared for this at all, and it could destroy your entire economy. And now you'll have to lower your living expenses, and this could potentially get you in debt for the rest of your life. And now when you're used to living this luxury lifestyle, it can be hard to go back to living on less, which is why you should never have went there in the first place. Okay, so how do you avoid this? People often think that owning a huge house and having the newest iPhone makes them happier, but often they don't. When people are filling out surveys about what makes them happy, no one actually answers their phone. They answer friends and families. But then, why do we keep on spending so much money on things instead of spending it on retiring earlier or just taking a couple of days off once in a while in order to spend time with our friends and family, which we know makes us happier, but we instead choose the things that doesn't? Each time you buy something, just consider if you actually need it, if it will bring joy into your life, or if you're just buying it because it's nice to have. Always consider if you need something, and this is no matter if you're buying a new shirt, a phone, a car, or even a house. Think about what you need, and this can save you a lot of money, which you can then go and spend on time with your friends and family. Okay, so another point to avoid it is to pay yourself first. Some of the best advice you can actually get is to pay yourself first. Well, so like buy a new phone or something fancy to eat when I get my paycheck? No. But when you get your paycheck, you pay yourself a certain amount of money every month, and then you put this money into savings or investing account. And then the money you have left after this money, you can use on your expenses. And if your expenses are lower than the amount left over, pay yourself even more and raise the number you pay yourself every month. This makes sure to give you a financial buffer, and your future you will love you for it. It gives you so much freedom, and you'll be able to escape the paycheck to paycheck cycle. And every time you get a raise, instead of raising your living cost, just raise the amount you pay yourself each month. I hope you all are able to avoid lifestyle inflation, and in time will be a bunch of millionaires, if this was what you're aiming for. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel.